presidencia Franklin Ferreras de Perú, ocupando la vicepresidencia Edwin Didi Espinosa de Argentina, ocupando la secretaría del comité Gabriel Di Francesco. En la actualidad, el Comité Regional de la Juventud está formado por 5 integrantes, presidiendo República Dominicana, Carlos Medrano, vicepresidente, Edwin Didi de Perú, la secretaria Milén Bruno de Canadá, vocal Álvaro de México y vocal Gabriel Di Francesco de Argentina. Desde su creación, para la misión del mismo es promover la participación real y efectiva de los jóvenes en la organización cooperativa. Nuestra visión es ser un ente facilitador para que los jóvenes participen activamente en la toma de decisiones, o sea, en los órganos que se toman las decisiones importantes dentro del cooperativismo. Estos son nuestros objetivos. Durante su formación y desde que éramos una red, el comité ha venido trabajando incansablemente para que los jóvenes en las Américas sean tomados en cuenta. Tanto ha sido la influencia del mismo que hemos sido tomados, o algunos de nuestros miembros han sido tomados para representar lo que son eventos importantes, como es el caso de la reunión internacional de cooperativas celebrada en Quebec el año pasado, en noviembre del año pasado. La coordinadora de este evento fue nuestra secretaria Milén Bruno, a la cual se le solicita y se le pide el apoyo de poder coordinar dicho evento. A través de las Américas servimos como enlace para algunos de los jóvenes que participaron en el evento de futuros líderes que se llevó a cabo allá en Canadá. Pero del mismo, durante todo este tiempo han salido grandes líderes, como es el caso de Toño. Actualmente Toño ocupa la presidencia de lo que es la Red Mundial de Jóvenes para Asia. Él mismo ha sido reconocido en varios países, ya tanto en las Américas como a nivel internacional, por el gran trabajo que ha venido realizando. También tenemos a Franklin Ferreras, que actualmente ocupa lo que es la vicepresidencia del organismo de cooperativas, o sea, la Confederación de Cooperativas de República Dominicana. Es el secretario de una de las cooperativas más fuertes e imponentes en República Dominicana. Él mismo ha venido trabajando a favor de la juventud en este país. Uno de los proyectos que tenemos o cosas que realizamos
that we have been carrying out in the regional committee is the internship program. It is directed to youngsters from all different levels. The internships are adapted depending on the strengths and weaknesses of each and every country. This enables us to strengthen the links among youngsters all throughout America. The latest took place in September this year, and it was organized in the Dominican Republic, my country. This enabled us to count on the strength, this enabled us to create the committee from Puerto Rico. And through the strength of this committee, we were able to organize the event and make it a reality. We also organized the internal committee for the Sagrada Familia Cooperative from Honduras. And they created the National Committee for Honduras in coordination with our all-regional Asia-America Committee.
También llevamos o realizamos lo que son videoconferencias.
We also have internet Skype conferences to coordinate with the members from all across our continent. We treat subjects that are very important for all of us, And this enables the committee to have a very clear view of what are the interests of the different youngsters and what our priorities should be, which are our weaknesses, which are our strengths. And the last teleconference took place in March this year. More than 20 countries took part, and we were able to count with more than 60 youngsters from all America. Thanks to this success, those who took part asked that we hold more than one video conference per year. Obviously, the time that we take for the video conference is limited, and we usually have people who want to share more, who want to ask more, who unfortunately are not able to do so because we lack time. Moreover, as a strategic plan for the decade, we have been creating a co-op management doctrine that is going to be shared online. This very same year, or at the beginning of 2014, this project should be live. The committee has also been organizing youth meetings within the framework of the board meetings of the ICA. Here we take upon all different subjects of leadership, training, etc. Aside from these meetings and the events that I have been mentioning, we also provide support to those events that are to be carried out in our continent. Most recent case would be the international seminar that was promoted by Antonio in Guanajuato, Mexico. Our regional committee was an integral part of the event, and we were able to go up to 150 participants from 10 different countries. We also provided support to other national events in Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Peru, among others. Some of the objectives, here they are: to put the co-op model forward, develop entrepreneurship abilities, manage economic resources that are able to be destined to the youth, and these obviously are subjects that are treated within all cooperatives. Regarding the economic resources, on a practical level, unfortunately this does not take place all the time. They usually tell us that, yes, we do support you, but when it comes down to facts, sometimes they don't. The committee is going to keep carrying on boosting and improving the youth committee on different national levels. We are going to maintain the links, the intercultural links all throughout America. Organize activities, whether they are on-site or online for youth, and on the subjects that they prefer. We are going to put into a system and systematize as much as possible all the documents that have been produced. We will carry on with the internship program because they have been a huge success for our committee, and in very few words, the committee is going to work on 3 axes for the co-op movement: promotion, inclusiveness, and well, there was a third one, but unfortunately the speaker was going very, very quickly. The committee meets every 2 months to treat different subjects. Aside all of this, we have been very successful in the Americas with training. and the follow-up of the national committees that are integrated within our own. As I was saying, I can't really find my words. We have a follow-up plan for all these national committees. Each and every time that they organize some kind of event, some kind of activity, through our technical secretariat in the regional offices, there is a communication that is established, and we try to identify what member of the committee may best provide his or her support, whether it is for the training, whether it is for the preparation of the event, whether it is to go there as a panelist, and up till here my intervention. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, Carlos, por...
No, Carlos, thank you. Thank you for being on time. It was very concrete information on the activities of the Regional Committee of the Americas. And now, without further ado, Felix, please do go ahead with the experience of Fernopoli. As I said, he's from Germany, and he's here to speak to us about an online co-op project over there. Thank you. Felix, please, if you will.
Yes, hello everybody. It's very good to be here. I'm very happy to see so many engaged people who take their life and effort to promote cooperatives, because I think it's such an important thing and approach which can change a lot of things in our world. Before I start, I just want to ask a quick question. Is there anybody who would volunteer to take some photographs so that I can send home some photos to my colleagues? That would be really nice. If somebody, I have a camera here, and if somebody comes, it would be really cool. Thanks a lot. Okay, thank you. You might have heard a similar name to this one, a game that is quite popular, I think, worldwide. Yeah, it's called Monopoly, and this game kind of transmits a very narrow idea of how economics work, in particular, everybody for themselves and as much profit as you can at the cost of others. Well, we don't want that, and we see that in the online business there's a big tendency that there appear huge monopolies that get very powerful, gain a lot of money, distribute this money through tax havens to a few elites, and basically control quite a bit of our lifespan now. So we started with an online marketplace which is supposed to replace at some point eBay and maybe a little later Amazon. But I think it's in general a scandal that companies like Facebook or Google are not cooperatives. So yeah, now Fernopoli, a quick introduction. Does it work? Yeah. All right. First of all, it's just a marketplace which we created, which we launched about a month ago. It's owned by a cooperative, and it's basically a new eBay. Everybody can buy and sell things on this marketplace, and it's open to professional sellers as much as to private people who want to sell second-hand things. And obviously, everybody can use it in order to shop online if you want to. The important thing about it, besides that it is quite nice to use, is that it is a fair company or a cooperative. So we have three core elements that we consider make us special. And this is the business model behind this, the cooperative model. The promotion of responsible consumption as a marketplace. There are a lot of NGOs doing this. We try to do it there where the people shop themselves. And the third point, which I consider very important, is that we try to support the fight against corruption, because corruption is hurting everybody, and I think it's one of the diseases that the old type of economy brings, corruption. So 1% of every transaction on this marketplace is donated to organizations that fight corruption. Well, we call ourselves a cooperative 2.0. That's a bit of a claim. But first of all, we are an online cooperative, and we're owned by our users. But moreover, we realized that there are different types of cooperatives. In Germany, there are old, established cooperatives that are not so much more with the original cooperative thought, if you want. So basically, they're not much more about bringing democracy to the people, to the economy, and also not reclaiming the economy to the hand of the people. So that's why we want to push this old thought, and there are many, or quite a few young cooperatives in Germany, or new cooperatives that are pushing for this. Well, we promote for fair trade. We have some clear criteria who we work with and who not. And you can use our marketplace also to collect donations as an NGO. But the very important point to me is, where does the revenue go? And for this, we created a model which we call the 4-to-4 model, if you want to say so. 4 divided by 4, you have 4 quarters that are distributed to different groups of people. So the first one is through the shares of the cooperative going to the members. 1/4 of all revenues that this cooperative makes. 1/4 is distributed to a system which we call fair founding points. And that's a very special thing that we developed and luckily got through the German legal system. Everybody who engages for this company or cooperative takes their time, and even as a volunteer helps making this happen, gains fair founding points, and these points entitle them to a share of the revenues. So we basically have a crowd of supporters, and we share the success with all together, everybody who engages for this. Then 25% are donated to civil society organizations, and 25% are going to be used for maybe also the international upscaling of the whole project. Yeah. Well, we try to, as I said, we try to support responsible consumption as a marketplace. That's very important also. Consumption affects us, consumption affects many people. And people should think about it. A marketplace, I think, is a very good place to advertise this. Obviously, we are a business. As a cooperative, you have to survive at the market. So we wanted to completely avoid big investors and this whole dependency coming with this. So we relied on crowdfunding, which is becoming quite popular in Germany, a method where you electronically collect a lot of, well, you could say, yeah, funding from a big crowd or group of people. Our business model is very simple. Like eBay, we take a sales fee. It's 6% for every transaction that we take as the cooperative. And we save a lot of costs by using crowdsourcing. As I said, we have a lot of volunteers in the whole country who are promoting us. We are relying on social networks. We're relying on existing networks, on NGOs who help promoting us instead of paying millions of euro for TV ads and so on. And it's open source. So that is, the code can be used by anybody and can be improved by everybody. That is also something which allows to involve a big community into the promotion of the whole product. And it allows also what we call open innovation. That means improving our marketplace through the people who use it. Anybody can develop new functions, come up with new ideas how this should move on. All right, so we started this as a group of young people, and basically we had nothing but an idea, but more and more people became convinced. We started a big crowdfunding campaign in the beginning of this year. We wanted to reach 50,000 euro, and that was our goal, and that was our minimum goal actually, which we needed to realize this product, this project, but we thought, okay, we want to make 100,000 euro. We did it, we had 6 weeks, and in the end, we achieved 210,000 euro. We were the second most successful crowdfunding campaign ever in Germany, and we had a lot of supporters. We had 850 new members in our cooperative from the beginning. And this is part of our approach, that we want to have a lot of people who help setting this up, making it possible, and promoting it. Because eBay is big, it's a monopoly in Germany. Together with Amazon, they share more than 95% of the market. And we want to break these monopolies through a cooperative. Okay, so right now we were finally registered on May 5 in this year. We have by now far over 1,000 members in our cooperative, of whom over 50% are under 35. So we are a very young cooperative. We have 13 full-time employees by now, and many more who work with us. Most of them are young, but we also realized it's very important to not just, say, okay, we are young and youth and we only want to work with young people. It's very important to open up and also have people with more experience joining the team. So I'm very happy actually that by now we also have a few more experienced people who joined the team. So we launched the marketplace and it's on the market now. It's very it's a lot of work, I can say, but it's moving on. We received wide media attention. We've been in the big newspapers in Germany, in the radio, and so on. And now we face a few challenges. In Germany, we're starting a campaign now, a big campaign to raise at least 2,000 new members because we need to spread this marketplace. And we have over, I think, 400 professional sellers who already use our marketplace, but also for them, we need to improve technologically and so on. So it's on the go. It's really rising up, and it's a lot of work. But eBay is a global multinational corporation. Amazon is a multinational corporation. And these are the ones that we want to measure with and which we want to replace through the cooperative model. And I think that's the way to go. What we want to try is, first of all, making partnerships with other cooperatives. And these can be a lot of cooperatives that provide, for example, products and services and just want to use a marketplace. But it can obviously also be other online cooperatives and anybody who's interested in this. The more important part for me is we want to scale this up internationally through a system of local cooperatives. So in every country there should be a team setting up this movement. Using our technology, but having a marketplace owned by the users in the respective country, not like eBay, which takes all the revenues from any country through tax havens into the pockets of a few people. We want a marketplace that gives back to the people. For this, we're about to create an international roof corporation, and this is another challenge I'm involved with now. And for this, I'm hoping that even on this conference, I'm going to meet maybe some people who can advise or even support or even join. I thank you very much for listening. Please note down my email address, felix@phenopoly.de. Unfortunately, the site is so far only in German, but we're going to provide English information very soon. Contact me if you're interested. If you know people who might help spreading this in your country, please get in contact with me. I'd be very happy to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, Felix.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Felix, for this nice experience that you have been telling us. That is a cooperative activity with young people that can promote this idea of a more equitable commerce. And thank you so much. And last but not least, I leave you with Tsukate, is the representative of the Youth Committee of the Asia-Pacific area. You have the floor, sir.
Yeah. Uh, Thanks, Jose, and thanks everybody, youth delegates, and I will introduce myself. I will not take much of your time. You must be feeling very sleepy and bored, but I will take just 6 minutes of my presentation and 10 minutes of a video. Uh, First, I will introduce myself. I am Dr. Sukesh Jama. 2.5 months back, I have been elected as the chairman IC Asia Pacific Youth Committee. So I will show you what the Asia Pacific Youth Committee is doing and what we have done in 2.5 months. So we'll just go through it. My PPT will show you what are the problems and what the Asia is facing pertaining to Asia and what we are doing actually right now on the ground. Population statistic, Asia constitutes almost 60% of the youth of the world. 700 million youth are there, and majority of them are in the rural area. Education statistic wise, the 85% are quite literate, but 25 to 30% only reach up to the secondary education. So it is a big challenge. 15% unemployed, and youths are more unemployed than the adults. Urban youths are skilled somewhat and others are semi-skilled. Now what is the solution for this? Problems everybody talks, solutions government also can do, public sector can help them, but main solution what we come across is a cooperative. How the cooperative can help them is, as we have started university cooperative in Japan, Korea, India and Nepal, many countries all over. So they are giving the education of cooperative in the Asia Pacific region. For the job creation, cooperative can go for many enterprises, and entrepreneurship credit cooperative can support them. There are professionals, the cooperative can provide the education loan or other things. So cooperative can go up with the holistic development. Now coming under in Asia Pacific, we have 25 countries. In the youth, there are 18 countries they are pertaining to us. I will go briefly through the history. Been launched in 2000, and then Japan was quite active. Then in the meantime, it was the not so active, but now right now we have started working very hard on the youth cooperative. Japan University Cooperative, there are 227 university cooperative in Asia Pacific region. And the revenue generated by Japan University Cooperative is 1.91 billion USD. They are running the bookstores, dining halls, running the general stores and providing agency services and all facilities to the students. Philippines also is good in youth cooperative. They are running the grocery stores, supermarkets, canteen, bookstores, and doing the best part of them, they are doing the investment also. So they are the profit running cooperatives in Philippines. Thailand also has a good, got a good support, and we are doing good activities in Thailand. Iran has they have changed their law of cooperative, and now I am showing the figures, and among those is the new generation cooperative, 356 cooperatives we got under Iran. And Iran is doing quite well. They have some new laws that are supporting the youth entrepreneurship and the youth cooperative formation in the Iran also. Now Pakistan. My colleague Mr. Ehsan Ali Thakur is also vice chair. He is leading the movement in Pakistan. Karachi Cooperative Housing, so I took his cooperative's example. Karachi Cooperative Housing Society Union is established and it is doing quite well. They have the law that the youth are more active in housing societies. Also, it's not, yeah. Youth Cooperative Wing of Pakistan has initiated a program, and they build the houses for the poor people and the low income people. So they are doing a good initiative in Pakistan. India has a diversified form of cooperatives, and many institutions in India are working for the youth. University cooperatives are active, and they are the diversified way of doing business. Coming to the Nepal, cooperatives in the Nepal, I am showing the number. And of those are the multi-purpose cooperatives are one of the innovative solutions we can come across for the youth. Because youth is facing a major problem of unemployment, availability of the fund, and the business models. So Nepal can be a good example, and we got multi-purpose cooperative society as an example. They have the welfare system, HRD system, investment system, lending system, and IT system, and all systems in place for the Nepal also. One of my vice chair is from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is also very good in the youth program, and this next year they are arranging the World Youth Conference. In Sri Lanka, youths are doing quite well. Mr. Uday Prabhat is leading the moment. Oh. Yeah. So what the youth are doing in Sri Lanka, they are donating the houses, they have the business promotion by the youth, they have the annual blood donation camp, youth leadership development camp, and the skill development conference. So these are some of the activities done by some Singapore co-op or Korean co-op or a Japanese co-op. So these are the activities done by the youth. And we carried 6th meeting of IC in Buldana, and we come up with an amendment that the age group for the youth, because in Asian context the youth, he has taken time for education and other thing, and if we want a good voice in the board, he should be responsible, he should have done something, he should have done something in his life, and then he can talk with the authority. So we made the age up to 40 years in the amendment. The major finding in those is that I have been selected as a chairman, it's just 2.5 months ago, and my colleague Ehsan and Udaya, they become the vice chair. Now we have one teleconference meeting, and now what we are doing now? We have started a Happy Green store. In Bhutan there is a concept, we always measure the happiness in GDP. In Bhutan they measure it in GNH, gross national happiness. And we apply this gross national happiness concept, and we are making this model cold storage van. The farmers are selling vegetables through this van, and this is the ICA Asia Pacific project, and they are selling their produce, farmers are selling their produce, and we have ability to measure their happiness. There is a marking system from Bhutan, and we can measure their happiness. So this is the model store we have started with in 2 months time, and now in the future line we will be starting the Happy Green store for the vegetables and other things. Second program we are starting is a financial literacy program. It is a program along with UNDP, and this is from the website. We are launching the website today. After the second break, we will be launching the website for the Asia Pacific, and I will say tell my colleague that we will need your assistance, because we are planning trade and other facilities. I will show you. The financial literacy program through the website, so people should be financially literate and they should have the ability to the business all over. So this is my brief presentation about the Asia Pacific region. Secondly, I am showing the video. I am the CEO of the largest credit cooperative in India, and it's a $1 billion, 1.1 billion USD cooperative. Total member base is 600,000 and 4,500 employees are working under me. So just a sample video, because World Bank and ILO, they recognize it as a sample credit cooperative. It's a primary cooperative, not a secondary. It's a primary cooperative, and I am the CEO. So I want to show the video to you all. It's a 10-minute video. Just go through it. It will be quite learning experience. Many people says that. So just go through it, please. Video, please.
Today, India is acknowledged for its success in economics, trade, industry, education and science, largely due to liberalization that has resulted into increased integration of India with the global economy. Yet poverty still remains its most serious challenge. Fired by the passion to empower the underprivileged section of the society, Buldana Urban Cooperative Credit Society was founded with a meager capital of $210 and 72 members. Today, the quality and spread of services of Buldana Urban have ensured a global acceptance for the society. The vision of its founder, Mr. Radheshamji Chandak, alias Bhaiji, and his ceaseless efforts have borne fruit.
कोणाला विश्वासही वाटणार नाही सहकारामध्ये असं काही घडू शकते, परंतु श्रद्धेने आणि मनापासून जर एखादं काम केलं तर काय घडू शकते. बुलढाणा अर्बन आज तरी सहकारातलं एक आदर्श उदाहरण आहे.
The multi-state society is today a behemoth with 296 branches, 4,600 employees, 500,000 members and $1 billion business. Ably led by its techno-savvy CMD, Dr. Sukesh G. Zawar, the Buldana Urban has adopted a state-of-the-art technology to offer customer-oriented services like data center, core banking, internet and SMS services. Coupled with mobile wallet and mobile banking, this has accorded the society an opportunity to work in association with multinational giants.
And such an amazing success in 25 years of time. Why it has occurred? It has occurred because of two breakout innovations. Now these breakout innovations are, one is 4-pillar system and other is social banking. Now what is 4-pillar system? 4-pillar system is an innovation, is a financial innovation in which the more money is poured into the institution and institution can go for various projects. And the social banking. The principle behind social banking is people's money should be utilized for well-being of people.
In his constant efforts towards modernization and globalization of the society and the cooperative movement at large, Dr. Sukesh Zawar, the Chief Managing Director of Buldana Urban, has been appointed as a coordinator of ECU for India in 2012. Buldana Urban have played a key role in successful organization of International Cooperative Meet at Shirdi on 6th and 7th July 2012. Moving a step ahead this year, Dr. Sukesh Zawar planned and organized an international conference on cooperatives between 18th to 21st July 2013 at Buldana. Delegates from 11 countries across the Asia-Pacific region had gathered in Buldana for the 6th meeting of the ICA committee. The theme of this meet was Future Challenges for Youth as a Strategic Group for Cooperative Development. The highlight of the international convention was the election of Dr. Sukesh Zawar as the president of the ICA Asia-Pacific Youth Committee. Apart from conventional loans like gold and silver mortgage loans, loans for higher education, vehicle and housing, the society also extends unique loan facilities like bicycle loans for students and cooking gas loans for the underprivileged families. The chain of godowns developed by Buldana Urban offers an advantage of scientific warehousing facility as well as timely credit to the farmers. It is therefore a matter of immense pride that National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, NABARD, is working in association with Buldana Urban. Recognizing the bank's potential, the International Fund for Agriculture Development, IFAD, has lent its helping hand to the society in adopting several villages benefiting around 250,000 people.
Now village development program includes development of the road infrastructure, educational infrastructure, health infrastructure and as well as creating job and that also promoting the entrepreneurship in the village.
The society's efforts have been appreciated by the World Bank as well. 20 Sahakar Vidya Mandir schools established in semi-urban and rural areas have offered an easy access to quality English medium education at an affordable cost to nearly 16,000 students. The Buldana Urban offers free education to children of martyred soldiers and sponsors the wards of those farmers who unfortunately chose death over life. The society has built hostels like Ellora Nivas in Buldana for working women and Ajanta Chhatra Niketan in Pune for the students. Buldana Urban has built the 72 kilometers Malkapur Chikhli Road on build, own, transfer basis. This excellent quality road is the society's small contribution in nation building. Building of guest houses for devotees in Tirupati, Mahur, Shirdi and Omkareshwar has lent a distinct identity to the Buldana Urban. In reverence to the ages-old tradition of worship of cows, the Buldana Urban has built a shelter for their upkeep and protection. Buldana Urban is also setting up Jeevan Sandhya Swargashram, a home care center for senior citizens, and a Ved Pathshala under the guidance of respectable saints. To enhance the exchange of knowledge and experience in the field of cooperatives, the Society is establishing an international cooperative training and HRD center at Shirdi. The Society owes its success to the continuous support of its members. The Residency Club set up by the Society offers a range of ultra-modern amenities like 28 well-furnished rooms, Wi-Fi connectivity, conference hall, banquet hall, and a well-equipped gym, spa and saloon. The revenue thus generated supports a multitude of social schemes. Buldana is lacking in good medical facilities, hence critically ill patients have to be shifted to other cities. Keeping this in mind, Buldana Urban has set up a 24-hour ambulance service. The Society has also set up a well-equipped and full-featured blood bank. As we know, the biggest problem on the planet is urbanization of the people and urbanization of money. Buldana Urban tries to combat this problem in its own innovative way by undertaking inclusive, sustainable and economically viable development of village areas. Mahatma Gandhi has said that if a village, the basic unit of our society, is self-sufficient, the nation and the economy can progress. Bhaiji also believes that rural population must get the advantages and facilities of modern-day life. His dream is turning to reality in his birthplace, Dongar Khandala. This small village is adopted by the Society for wholesome development and inclusive growth. Dr. Sukesh Zawar is executing this project heart and soul. The Society has made significant contribution in developing clean and healthy sanitation, properly constructed roads, facility of pure drinking water, village cleanliness drive and garbage management, educating the villagers about personal as well as social hygiene and actively involving them in village development activities. Sahakar Vidya Mandir at Dongar Khandala uses the next generation digital education systems to impart knowledge to the village keen. Taking an innovative step, a small capacity spinning mill converting raw cotton to yarn is also installed in the village. This effort of the Society has given local farmers a better price for their produce and assured employment to the local youth. The project for cleaning and grading of agriculture produce, low-cost housing projects, distribution of solar lamps and smokeless chullas, plantation of thousands of trees and their conservation, along with rural water supply scheme, are all examples of the social responsibility being shouldered by Buldana Urban. The Society has also set up a drinking water bottling plant at Malkapur. Under Venture Capital Scheme, the Society has financed a medicine plant manufacturing drugs for effective cancer treatment so as to lower the cost of these medicines. Agriculture Equipments Banking is another innovative scheme of the Society. Farm equipments are utilized by farmers turn by turn to save huge capital investments. This year, the dam near Buldana turned dry due to severe drought conditions. As a commitment towards the people, the Society encouraged the farmers to use the fertile mud and soil, providing necessary excavation facilities free of cost. Various projects for water conservation are also initiated by the Society. Therefore, it is no wonder that the Buldana Urban has been honored with many prestigious awards like Maharashtra Cooperative Agro Innovation Award, Sahakar Seva Shri Award, Samajik Zaniv Puraskar, and the prestigious state-level Samaj Bhushan Puraskar. Bhaiji was also awarded with Jeevan Gaurav Puraskar by the Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra. The work of the Society and the relentless efforts by Dr. Sukesh Zawar were also acclaimed internationally by the prestigious QMI Award in Philippines last year. In order to realize his mission of taking the cooperative movement to the global level, Dr. Sukesh Zawar has visited many countries and proved the role of cooperative movement as an engine for holistic development. Buldana Urban Cooperative Credit Society is a class apart on account of its firm belief in socially responsible and responsive banking. The struggle has not daunted the spirit of its founders, for whom these lines of Robert Frost are a motto. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
Muy bien. Muchas gracias por esta presentación. Tenemos
We have heard 3 experiences of the Asia Pacific Committee, the Americas Committee, and the experience of cooperative in Europe, in Germany. And so if you have questions, you can ask them. So we have a microphone. Well, could you please come here, those who want to ask questions? Well, we will listen to all the questions and then we will give time to our speakers to answer, and they will answer at the end.
My name is Prince from Sanako Youth. I want to direct my question to Carlos. I want to check if your movement is able to create cross-country trade within and amongst cooperatives in your region, because for me what Felix have presented provides an opportunity for that trade, not only at the level of the region, but also at global level, because that the phenopoly could be used for global trade within and amongst youth cooperatives globally. Thanks very much.
Where are you from? And your question, please.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. My name is Kevin. I come from Kenya, representing Cusco and the youth. My first question will go to Carlos. I believe you're Carlos. My first question is whether you receive any support from your government. You have a wonderful project going on. Whether you receive any support from your government or the NGOs, the donors and governmental organizations, whether you receive any support. The second one is where do you get your funding? Because I believe that's what we want to do as African youth. We want to know where to get the funds, because currently we have no system around. The second, Felix, you have a wonderful, it's really wonderful idea. That's $1 billion company. The next one upcoming, we should invest also as Africa. It's good that you're leveraging on technology. My worry was on the legal framework. Do you have a legal framework available? Because it's people's money you're taking. As cooperatives, you're taking deposits. Is there a legal framework to control it? Because when you come to Africa or when you open up to the world and the other people, we'd like to know how safe our money is. For you, Doctor, that's really wonderful. And you are the change that the world wants to see. Thank you very much.
Your name, where are you from, and your question.
My name is Paseka Mafereka from South Africa, from an organization called SANACO. SANACO stands for South African National Apex Movement. So in South Africa, we do have an Apex movement, and we're in the youth sector of SANACO. First, my question from my colleague, South America. Since what I want to find out is that in terms of your membership, firstly, and also understanding that you only launched properly in 2010, but we want to get a sense in terms of your membership. How big is your membership? Two, and also regarding to cooperatives, the youth cooperative in your movement in terms of its own success stories, but not only success stories, but also to indicate, to say, in terms of the GDP contribution by youth cooperatives in the South America, how you've been doing in that sector. My following question to my colleague from Germany. I want to also to understand, I want to be clear in terms of, are you a cooperative or a movement? But if you are also a cooperative, I just got lost in terms of your core functions. What are you doing, you know? And also I was more interested in terms of one of the things that you indicated, that you also exposing corruption that taking place in government. Also interested, maybe you can elaborate and maybe give us experience in moving forward, that how can also, because corruption is a problem which actually harms service delivery even in any other country. My colleague, Doctor, well, we've seen good success in terms of in the Asia. Now, what I want to find out is that, are there any programs that your committee are in place for to assist, you know, regions like Africa as a whole in terms of doing good in cooperative development? Because one of the things that once saw in your video is that your cooperatives, they are productive in all the Asian countries, and there's employment that has been done by cooperatives. So I just want to find out, if are there any programmatic that you have designed that to assist and capacitate cooperatives in Africa as a whole? Thanks.
Thanks for the reminder. I'm Emily Lipple-Cheney. I'm from the U.S. With the USA Cooperative Youth Council. I have two questions. One's for Carlos, and also maybe Jose Antonio. As the USA Cooperative Youth Council, it's been hard for us to get organized nationally. It hasn't been very easy, but we are starting to look outward, and we want to participate on a larger scale and on a regional level. So I'm wondering if you could talk to a little bit about how we could better engage and be involved in the ICA Americas youth group. I gotta say that all again. Oh, yeah. Thank you. But did you get the question? Yeah. Okay. Well, in the USA Cooperative Youth Council, we've had a hard time getting started nationally because it hasn't been a particularly supportive space to do this kind of development. Good? Okay. But so now we're starting to look outward, and we want to engage on a regional level. So my question is more about how can we start getting engaged with you and really kind of expanding the regional reach of the ICA Americas Youth Committee. And then my second question is for Felix. I'm giving a presentation tomorrow about the alignment, potential alignment of the FLOSS, the Free Libre open source software movement and the cooperative movement. And I was wondering if I could use Phenopoly as an example in it. Cool. Thanks.
Yes. Hello to everybody. My name is Polina Shishkova. I'm from CCU, Bulgaria. We are youth representatives with my colleague from CCU. So I would like to firstly share an initiative from CCU, Bulgaria. We've organized on the occasion of International Year of Cooperatives European Leadership Forum, and the idea was to bring together young representatives from 18 European countries. We have representatives also from Sri Lanka. So I think that it was a great opportunity, young people to meet each other, to share good ideas, to get to know more about the cooperative system in each country. And do you think that it will be a good idea to organize such a forum in global level? And CCU Bulgaria is ready, and it will be really happy to host such an event in Bulgaria. Thank you.
Your name? Where are you from? And your question.
My name is Tagarati again, from South Africa, Sanako Youth. I want to, in fact, let me firstly start by saying, Felix, I'm a bit maybe provoked by your underlying work relating to fair monopoly. Maybe to start to ask if monopoly can be fair. And at what stage does monopoly become fair? Because we are in, as cooperatives, I want to believe we are in an enterprise that by its nature is cooperation amongst cooperative. It's not monopolizing within cooperatives. So in that point, I wanted to check actually if really the concept monopoly could be really viable for the cooperative development and so on. And the other aspect is that the security factor relating to your enterprise. I think it's a very good enterprise, I must say. But the only question that comes or that range around it is the question about viability. If a cooperative in South Africa wants to interact with you in that kind of enterprise that you are in, what are the security measures that are in place? Because I want to believe that that kind of a trade that by its nature and character does not find itself maybe in a way having a regulated framework. In one way or the other, there is possibilities of losing the thrust of the fundamental cooperative principles. The other aspect I hear, you say within your cooperative, you've got about 1,000 members, and 13 to which are full-time employees, and 8 to which are part-time. Now, I want to understand that the framework itself, in terms of the whole regulations, I want to agree, is growing very well. But now, with its growth, the measurabilities in terms of work that you are undertaking within your own sector, it will be safe to say, having 1,000 members, you should have employed at least an enormous number of young people who are in that enterprise. Now, my question is, why at a stage of 1,000 members, you are still only having employed 21? Maybe my other question will come to Shukes, Dr. Shukes, that the presentations that you have shown us, what is more quite fundamental is the work that it is relating to a financial aspect or financial development within your own model. And the fact that you are a primary, having employed that number of people, and in this aspect, being the major cooperative, which it is primary, also commanding a magnitudinous economy within the country as India. What are the aspects in particular that could be the case study to can be utilized by other cooperative across the countries? And why I'm asking it in that way is necessarily informed of the fact that the network that you have outlined within your presentation are also in fact quantitative to can easily be duplicated. So that is the aspect that I think if you can just expatiate on that, it will
enable also other countries to find themselves, in fact, beginning to tap in terms of the model that we have currently employed.
Muy bien. Tenemos entonces algunas preguntas.
Well, so we have a few questions for our panelists. I hope that they have written down those questions to be able to answer. There are quite a lot of questions for Felix, also quite a lot of them for Carlos. So Felix, maybe if you could answer in a shortened version to the questions that were asked to you. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so one of the questions was if Fernopoly is actually a cooperative. Yes, we are. According to German cooperative law, we are a registered cooperative. We have all the legal setup, we have the structure, we have a supervisory board, and so on. That's also a question in terms of legal framework, how our shares are treated. Well, we are, as any cooperative, liable to supervision from both the German authorities and our General Assembly, the Supervisory Board, and so on. In Germany, we also have every second year an official cooperative association that is doing, business analysis, looking at our numbers. So yes, we are accountable. But this is for the German cooperative. And I think the question was also related to, okay, if now somebody from South Africa wants to join. So the way I think this needs to work is that there is a team in South Africa creating, according to the South African legal requirements, local cooperative, and then we create a partnership. And for this, to coordinate this, we still have to set up, and this organization does not exist yet, an international framework body. So it's one of my goals for this conference here, to find advice and support and maybe partners to do this. Yeah, I'm absolutely happy if you use us as an example for the cooperation between cooperative movement and FLOSS movement. I think it's great. I'd like to join. I'd like to attend your presentation. And there were a few more questions. Okay, there was a question: can monopoly be fair? Well, that's why we call ourselves Fernopoly, and our slogan in German, I can't really translate it, but it's kind of turn the game around or play a different game. It's getting rid of this whole monopoly type of economy that we have and replace it by an economy which is democratically controlled and which doesn't have these big power centers, but is distributing profits to many people. So that's what we stand for. That's why we chose this a little bit provocative name, and it's really obviously also because it stays in people's memories. Then the whole security factor. I mean, in terms of technical standards, we have a big technical team, and we have external advisors and testers who are working. We have the open source community who tries to make our marketplace as an online marketplace as secure as possible. But for transporter and international trade, that's a whole different question, and we need to sort this out in the future. That's another challenge if we really manage to grow internationally. Yeah, so step by step. And the last question I have written down is why don't we employ more people? Yeah, I mean, we have over 1,000 members, but one of the special things about our cooperative is also you don't need a lot of money to become a member. With 50 euros you're a member, and 50 euros in Germany is affordable for even students and so on. So we have a lot of members who didn't invest a lot of money. We have some who invested a lot. You can invest up to 10,000, but not more. So basically we have a quite big team, and it's actually for our business numbers, it's absolutely, we can't afford more, even though we would like, because there's so much work. And maybe a last point on this, we're one of the few cooperatives in Germany who have a little bit of who changed the statute a little bit so to the way that our board of the cooperative, like for example me, I'm elected by the staff members. We have a system where the cooperative members elect the supervisory board, but the staff actually elects the board, and that's because we think the staff knows best what is good for a company, and they also know best. They also have an interest in working for a sustainable company that is not maximizing shareholder value, but more the real value of the company. So yeah, that's all I can say. I'm very happy to discuss more afterwards. Thanks.
Muchas gracias, Félix, por tu...
Thank you very much, Felix. Now we'll go on to Carlos. He also received several questions. And finally, the Dr. Sukesh question. Well, one of the questions was, how many members does our committee have? Our board or exec committee has 5 members. Towards the next year, we might have 2 more members from the Caribbean region. This does not necessarily mean that the rest of the committees on a national level who are affiliated would not have the support of the committee, obviously, because we work directly with them. However, those who coordinate the regional committee are 5 members. Another one, if we receive support or not. For some of the activities or events that we carry out, we do have the support of the Swedish Center for Co-ops. The regional activities also enjoy the support of Asia Americas Committee, and then there are the co-ops that we belong to as the committee members who support us economically. This question about support is obviously paramount for those who want to take part in the different activities, because not all co-ops support the participation of its youth within the framework that we develop. So it's a bit delicate. However, when I came in, there was very little participation by the youth, but within the current year, this has gone up in more than 70% of youth participation. In our in the Assembly for the Americas, we believe more and more in the generational change, and there is a clear commitment to enable as many youth as possible to take part in the regional activities of our committee. How to expand the committee of the U.S. Just by being in the U.S., you have the possibility of taking part in the activities of the regional committee. To commit yourselves with us, you just need to get in touch with us directly or with the office of ICA through our technical secretariat, or directly, as I was saying. How can you reach out? Well, if you want to do it through our committee, we could create a network similar to the one we already have. Our network has been working for several years now, since it was simply a network and not a committee, and the easiest way forward would be to contact us directly. We are obviously willing to support you and help you with all this. Next question. I don't know if the translator was able to convey the message. I'm not sure if they were talking about exchanges or products. If it's products, to create a network to sell products on a cooperative level would be a very good idea. Nowadays, we do not work just yet with this kind of selling system, but we do have youth members who have as a way of life the shops where they sell co-op products. In Guatemala, for instance, there's a group over there who sell agricultural products from the co-ops, whether it's coffee or other food supplies. They have created this market, which is also a coffee shop. In Peru, there is also another co-op that sells exclusively. It's a youth co-op. Let me specify that. I don't remember the name. Oh, thank you. It's Francisco Bolognese Co-op, who produce and sell coffee, and they distribute said coffee to the different co-ops that are associated. I do not know if I have answered to the question that you did. If that's not the case, please do make it known to me, and I will try to answer as best as I can.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. I would also like to answer, because a few questions that were addressed to me. There was a question and there was a proposal by the CCU. I believe that if the U.S. is interested, they have to link with the regional committee. There is an assembly next year. Today, we will be establishing this first youth network, this global youth network, where it would be interesting to count on the U.S. representatives, and obviously it would be as interesting, very, very interesting, to share the experiences from other networks and put them at your disposal, Emily, and to the disposal of the U.S. committee. In regards to the colleagues from CCU, Gretchen, are you hearing what I'm saying? Yes. The colleagues from the CCU made a clear proposal to organize a world meeting over there, and well, sometimes we face this reality, which is that we have empty seats in the spaces that are created for the youth. Why? Because we have economic difficulties for the youngsters to come to these venues. Now, they have proposed to host a world event, hopefully at a lesser cost, where we could develop a seminar for young leaders throughout the world, and they offered us to host this world event. I will leave this matter to the new network that will be created and to the new youth representative, because in today's time I will not represent the youth anymore, but obviously this is not a good reason to just leave the question aside. A few months back, we were able to host this kind of event in Mexico. We had the possibility to do exactly what you proposed, and obviously we will talk with Gretchen. Gabriela heard about it too, also the young people present, and as I said, I would support this proposal. Zukesh, there was also a question for you, if you will.
I have two questions. I will give the answers. One question for Africa. Yeah, we have internship program. Many countries, Asian countries, are taking part in that program. It's a 15-day internship program, 3-month training program, and National Cooperative Union of India has an association with us that has a 2-year MBA program. So for Africa, we can give the capacity building and training as per our programs. Second question by the Daniel: what other cooperatives should mimic or what should they do, I will suggest, it is on my side, whether you feel appropriate or not, social banking is a innovation because it is people's money which are we putting in the banks, and it should be utilized for well-being of the people, not for the few people who are holding the stakes and all that, but the majority of the money in the cooperative is the people's money. So social banking aspect of the bankers should take care of in a great time of recession and complete fallout of big banks is because of the greed, and the social banking is the socialistic aspect to counter that greed. So I will suggest to have a social banking, and the 4-pillar system we have invented, a financial innovation in which more money can be come out in a cooperative, so that these two things they can take it if they find it appropriate. And one says, can we duplicate it? So you can duplicate it, copy it, you can come and see it's a simple structure, and we want the world to be made like it is a equally distributed, not equally but appropriately distributed wealth in the world, and the cooperative is the only way ahead. So I will suggest the social banking 4-pillar system. These are the two solutions from my side for the problem. Yeah. Thanks.
Muy bien, pues quiero... también hay una pregunta en línea que nos hacen.
There is another question online that has been following us through this live stream. They have been following the conference in different places and a few people in the conference center. So there are other online questions, and for instance one of them was, what are we doing to guarantee an increased participation of youth, of the youngsters, in this Congress? Well, I believe we should take over this proposal by the colleagues from CCU to try and plan alternative events where we can have capacity building workshops and seminars for the youth. The question comes from Victor Oyewoke from Nigeria. And as I said, a few other friends have been following this meeting in America, in Africa, in Asia, Europe. The conferences have been recorded, this meeting, in case you want to download them. And I would like to ask you for another applause for our panelists again. So please, let's thank them.
World Youth Conference in Sri Lanka, 2014 May. And Mr. Ban Ki-moon, UN Secretary General, is attending the conference, and Sri Lanka is very active in the youth networking. So I will invite all the ICA members from the globe to come to Sri Lanka in May. We have 50 seats reserved for you, and for detailed information you can ask my Vice Chair Mr. Uday Prabhat from Sri Lanka. Please, if you can stand up, then they will know. Yeah, you can ask him, and you can go for the detail, and I will invite you personally to come to Sri Lanka for the UN Youth Conference. Thank you.
Muy bien, muchas gracias por la...
Well, thank you very much for this invitation. Once again, another applause. And we have one last activity today, a workshop where we want to know your opinion, your thoughts, and I would like to know, for you to raise your hand, who among yourselves has less than 35, is less than 35 years old? Less than 35, please raise your hand. Let's count you. So 29, 30, So we have 30 young people, Gretchen, to be able to analyze the constitution document of the youth network. So we would like to work on this document with you and also to introduce the first members that will conform the committee.
Tenemos aquí el documento que ha diseñado.
Here we have the document that has been drafted with the ICA, in particular Gretchen